Doesn't matter what time I go to bed, I always seem to wake up just before sunrise. You know what that means? I'm going to walk to the top of the little hill here and wait for the sun to come up. I'm in a lot of pain with my immune system. It affects my skin, in particular this patch on the outside of my left calf, just between the knee and the ankle. It's like there's energy flowing through the body through all these different channels, and for some reason it gets stuck there. And you know, I've made incomplete and unsuccessful attempts to diagnose it and to understand it. I don't believe that diagnosis and understanding is really that important. I need to let go of something, really. That's what it is. I can't let go of something. I don't believe that you can experience chronic illness of any kind unless there is a very good reason for it. Ultimately, I believe that it's a positive thing. It's like you've got off track somehow in life. You've lost your way, and now this thing has appeared in your body. It's like gentle encouragement is one thing, so maybe there were signs that were leading me in a certain direction and I missed them, and then the universe has sent me something. It's like, okay, you've missed the gentle encouragement, you've ignored the signs I've sent you, so now I'm going to give you this thing, and it's going to mean it's an emergency. You know, this is like, you've really got to address something, but it's a lesson that you have to learn, and that's why it's not just spelled out for us. We have free will. Yeah, when I first got ill, when I first had trouble with my immune system, doctors called it psoriasis. I spent about a year trying to do it the allopathic route, just using creams and lotions, and eventually I decided that I had to do something, and I went vegetarian. I'm telling this story again. I've told this story so many times on this channel, but it's relevant, and I really nailed it at the start of 2015. I had enough lifestyle changes in place, and I changed where I lived was quite critical. I had to change where I lived. I wasn't out here by then. I still had another maybe almost 3 years left in town at this point, but I'd made significant changes in my lifestyle and my location and my state of consciousness, and yeah, a miraculous healing took place, and it seemed to be that it was all just going to go away, that I was just going to meditate. I was following Mantak Chia's sort of esoteric Taoist breathing techniques at this time. Doing a lot of testicle breathing, if you know what that is, circulating the chi. I was heavily into the nofap. I had my longest streak, 9 months. 9 months, no porn, no masturbation. And my immune system calmed down a lot, and my skin improved a lot. You know, when I was a younger man, I spent a lot of time looking for sex any way I could. I was addicted to that, and later on, when I got the skin condition, I became addicted to pornography. But you know, that's all behind me now, thankfully. And even when my skin got better, I didn't go back to those old ways. It destroyed my self-confidence. I couldn't go out and do what I'd done in my 20s. And I say it because it's relevant. It's relevant to how I got off track so badly, how I became ill. So after 9 months of doing these exercises, Mantak Chia's Taoist, breathing exercises, basically work breathing exercises mostly. Circulating the chi, getting the energy moving. Like I say, it's just stuck energy. That's what this chronic illness is. It's stuck energy of some form. I got it moving. I met this girl. I did actually meet her on a dating site. That's right, but it wasn't Plenty of Fish. I went to a different dating site, one with a better reputation for for making meaningful connections. And she was local, which shouldn't have come as a surprise. You know, what you're looking for is always just around the corner. You know, it could be anywhere in this whole goddamn universe. Oh, here we go. We're gonna have to do this now. So I met this girl after 9 months of complete celibacy. I think I didn't have sex for well over a year. It felt like, you know, it wasn't my choice, but because that's where I found myself, I then did make it a choice. And I remember distinctly 3 opportunities with 3 different ex-lovers, women from the past, who contacted me and like, hey, how you doing? And I turned all 3 of them down because I knew that what I was doing was integral to my healing process. Basically, the way I'd used sex in the past and the way I'd used women in the past and allowed women to use me, it's a two-way street. And if you don't understand the importance of sex and you don't understand the sacredness of sexuality, both women's and men's sexuality, then you will use people and you will allow yourself to be used. And I met this girl, we had a relationship, and you know, it felt like a gift. It felt like, for all my hard work, for putting myself back on the right track, and my skin almost completely healed, my immune system almost completely healed whilst I was in this relationship with this girl. We just clicked, we just fitted together. We were exactly what the other needed at that time. And you know, I did write about this at the time. I kept a journal at the time. So I did do some thinking, some analysing about ultimately what stopped us. We had different paths to follow ultimately. Our purpose was to come together for that period of time. But my destiny was to come out here and build this, and so the relationship got very rocky towards the end. We didn't even kiss one another for something like 3 months. You know, there was very little physical contact whatsoever. But we still hung out, we still spent time together. It was a very sad time. I think we knew the relationship was dying. You know, it was a seriously unhappy time for both of us. Let's get back on this. We broke up 2 weeks before the spring equinox in 2017, and I know this because I was despairing. I thought that I'd worked so hard on myself, I'd come so far. This relationship was a gift from the universe. It was my purpose in life was to serve this young woman by just making her feel like, you know, the queen, the goddess. And Dan, the off-grid Norseman, before he was the off-grid Norseman, he was hosting some kind of spring equinox event. And I thought, you know what, this is what I need to take my mind off it. And I went there and I met this group called The Tribe, and there might have been 30 or 40 people. It was the biggest tribe camp that I ever attended, and it was just a whole new realm of experience. You know, the people I met and the things they were talking about, the things they were doing, the things they were showing me. I was just like, oh shit, this is what I am now. And we have to find a new way of experiencing life, and a new way of thinking of ourselves and fitting ourselves into society. And I remember telling them about my new project, which was digging this place in the woods. I just started at that time, around about the spring equinox 2017. So that relationship ended and I came out here. But yeah, my skin almost completely healed whilst in that relationship. I remember writing in my journal that I had 2 tiny little patches of rough skin, both within the size of a debit card, on my left calf, which is, you know, where it's always been worse, where the blockage has always been worse. It's been getting steadily worse since that relationship ended. That is also significant. Despite having found a relationship, a connection with a woman that just transcends even that previous relationship, which was pretty deep and pretty powerful. This just defies description, what I feel now. So yeah, it's mysterious to me why the healing process hasn't started again. I don't live with Julie. I don't see her very often, you know. And the other thing is you can't rely on this other person to fix you. I don't think of it like that. I know this well enough from past experience, and I've never looked at my relationship with Julie in that sense, like expecting her to fix me or help me. It's something you do for yourself. But I don't know what it is. I don't know why the healing hasn't been kick-started again. I mean, it is. I feel it emotionally. I feel it mentally, but just not physically. I wonder if maybe it's because, yeah, we don't spend enough time, but simply because she still lives in France, and you know, obviously we have plans to move and live together in a different part of France, and maybe that's it. Maybe when there's that daily contact, that daily interaction, that's what it takes.